should be 14th January 2024. So this is a live stream. Um, so it's about engine oil, something I experienced I want to share so that probably will help you make your decision on what oil you want to be using on your engine. Um, at least recommended. So so I was with someone and I was basically not the one driving. So there was somebody parked a car somewhere. So so I went with the person to go and pick the vehicle. And so we started the car. Um they now drove it's just like started the car maybe I think like less than a minute. So the person engaged um the gear, then moved just a little. You could say just how many feet or probably a meter or so. I don't know. Apparently, I'm trying to say just did a drive. It was actually in a compound. So as he was driving out of the compound, so the tire got stuck. One of the tires got stuck into somewhere. I think where he drove it, he entered into a muddy place. So the car couldn't move anymore. The tire was just spinning. So for you to be able to pull the car, drive it out from that stopped place, you needed to accelerate harder. And immediately he did that like 2 or 3 times. As the car was just driving up, the engine sound just changed. It started to was obvious the crankshaft bearings were affected. You know, no, he parked. So I told him, hey, no, just parked. So he parked and started it. Switched it off, started it again. The noise came back. So I asked him to start, start it, but don't accelerate. So it was making that sound, but gradually, while at idle, the sound started to go away. That grinding sound started going away. Eventually, it smoothened out. So he was not surprised, was asking me what happened. Why is it that the engine is dead? Or so I asked him which oil did he use. He said 20W50. This is a Peugeot vehicle. I'm not going to mention the car. Say Peugeot 12 because the person might watch. I probably might not really. Okay. So I explained to him what happened because the engine was still cold. Oil was still cold. Which she started the car, less than a minute it drove off, so which was normal. But because the oil was much thicker, so he didn't anticipate that there will be a need for him to accelerate the car hard until it was stuck somewhere in that same compound. So it was almost within less than 3 minutes of starting the cold engine. As he was driving off, the tire got stuck. So of course, you needed to accelerate harder. In that case, I'm saying the RPM now shoot close to 5,000 or 6,000. It wasn't even a mud. It was like he tried to climb something. So one side of the car now hanged. It hanged the car. So the car could no longer move. So one side was, both front tires were actually still touching the ground, but one side was a little bit up. So it wasn't touching fully. So for it to be able to pull the car out of that place, you need to accelerate harder as the tires were spinning. So it was moving gradually. So I explained to him what happened was the bearings, the crankshaft bearing we affected at that time because the oil was still cold, was still thicker. Oil works better when they are warm or hot. So, but what if had it been he had a thinner oil? I don't think that would have happened. Had it been he had, let's assume he had a 5W40 in that engine. Yeah, engine was it's still cold, everything. However, that oil, that thinner oil would have prevented that from happening. Yeah, it was not ideal thing, whether it's thinner or whether it's a synthetic thinner oil or thicker oil. We're not meant to accelerate the car um, hard when the engine is still cold. But in this situation, it wasn't intentional. Like I said, he was just about to drive out of the compound after starting the car for about less than a minute. As he was driving off, boom, it happened. So in that case, you won't blame the driver, you know. Man, I'm actually sitting in my 505 V6, but there's a music playing outside. I don't want to start the car. I don't want to open the door, the windows, which will mess up the video because then the YouTube will strike me with copyright. And I also don't want to waste my fuel with the AC engine running. So this I don't know whether is it that I'm want to advise, but I don't want to explain this what happens so that you make your own choice from here. You know, so you could decide, yeah, I wouldn't mind to keep using the thicker oil, or you could decide, um, to switch or take a lesson from this experience I had and prevent that from happening to yours. Like I said, even by the time we drove off, the issue was the sound was gone. But I believe what happened was the thing grinded the bearing, most likely partially. Then maybe later on it now smoothened out, but the wound is already there. So I would advise use the recommended oil, and if you can, if your engine is still okay, what I mean okay, I mean if it hasn't really one started showing sign of wear, severe wear, like smoking, bluey smoke and shorting engine oil and everything. In that case, if Peugeot recommends a thinner oil synthetic for you, please use. If he recommends, even if it's semi-synthetic, but anything that is thinner, oil that is not too thick and is recommended for your engine, I will always go for the one or the thinnest. Your engine maybe is weak, like I said, can handle that thin oil. So in other words, it might increase the oil consumption. So in that case, you go move up a little bit to a thicker oil. Because of issues like this, the thinner one will protect your engine much better. When it's still very healthy, especially if it's a synthetic, fully synthetic one. Semi-synthetic will do the same, but then what it means is, I always tell people, when you use something thicker, it means you have to have, it must be the patient type. You have to be able to wait for the oil to warm up. The thinner synthetic one will be able to protect it even when it's cold, much better than the thicker one. So I hope this makes sense. I'm not sure I'll stay too long on this live stream. I just wanted to put that message out so that people will learn from my experience. Okay, till next time.